I get asked a question at least once a week and maybe several times a week that I really don't have an answer for. It usually comes from the people who've invited me over for dinner or out to a restaurant to just have a wonderful conversation, but the question that always goes with it is, what are you hungry for? And I think, what am I hungry for? Well, like right now, just a hamburger would taste really good, but like Friday night, I don't know what I'm going to be hungry for Friday night. I don't know. And then they say, well, we would need to decide which restaurant we're going to, depending on what you're hungry for. So what are you hungry for? You decide. No, we want, Father, we want you to eat something great. So today I suppose we could say we're all hungry for Italian sausage and pasta and maybe some fried ravioli and a little wine and beer to go with it. Yeah, we're all hungry for that today. It's really the question behind the first reading in the gospel today. What are you hungry for? In the first reading, it's Exodus. The Israelites had just left Egypt. They had seen the plagues. They had gone through the Red Sea. They're only a couple days into the desert, and what do they start to do? Complain. They're out there in the desert, and they're saying, hey, Moses, at least when we were in Egypt, we ate well. We had to work hard, build the pyramids and all that kind of stuff, but we got good food. We had our nice stews, flesh pots, it was all great. And what do we have out here? Nothing. You give us nothing. So they're grumbling. Interestingly enough, what God desires at this point in their life is that they leave slavery, because they're still kind of enslaved. And he wants them to no longer be slaves, but to be free. And so what God gives them is food for each day. Not food for tomorrow, not food for a week from now. They're invited to trust God alone. That their hunger needs to be for God, not for the food. Can we trust God? So God gives them this interesting food, a lot of quail at night, and some stuff that lands on the ground in the morning that they could make into like bread. A little early pasta of some kind. But they couldn't figure out what it was, so they called it manna, which means, I noticed some of you didn't laugh during this, but it really should be a little bit of a chuckle, because they called it, what is it? That's the name they gave it. What is it? What are you eating? What is it? Oh, what is it? That's what it is. What is it? That's the name we gave it. Those of you who are from rural Nebraska know that there's a little town out there in Cedar County called Wynot. That's how they got the name. They had a meeting. They were trying to figure out the name for their town with all these, so everybody was like, why not this one or why not that? And somebody said, well, why not? Yeah, that's a great name. So they went with Wynot, Nebraska. So the Jewish community called it for 40 years of eating it. What is it? That's what we're eating. What is it? We don't know what it is. What is it? It takes them 40 years to get rid of the slave mentality until they're finally ready to be a people to go into the promised land. 40 years of learning to trust God, that God would take care of them when they went into the promised land. Daily. Not saving up, no security anywhere else, just God. In the gospel today, all these people are trying to find Jesus because Jesus had just fed them earlier. 5,000 men, another 5,000, 10,000 kids, so 20,000 people, kind of like the Santa Lucia festival, trying to feed everybody, and he feeds them with fish sandwiches. But they're the best ones they ever had. And they want more fish sandwiches. So they sneak ahead and they get there ahead of him. And he's like, okay, because he knows them. You're here for the wrong reason. You're hungering for the wrong thing.